hello and welcome to the first video that I'm actually doing on the official The Jacy Project YouTube channel. My name's David. Some of you will know me as Hype Drop from previous videos. I am the marketing, creative lead builder in the Jacy Project. A few disclaimers. If it sounds like I'm chewing gum, that's because I am chewing gum at the moment. I'm going to have a cup of coffee and I'm going to set myself a time limit of 15 minutes. No matter what happens, this video stops at 15 minutes. I wanted to do a video for many reasons. I'm not exactly sure whether I should be doing this through the YouTube channel, but I think it makes sense to do so. I want to say hello. I want to say thank you for anybody who is watching this. Thank you for supporting the project. Hello to anybody new to the project. This video is ultimately going to be based around marketing and sort of some of the creative vision, the areas that I sort of work in. I won't be speaking for the whole team. I'll be speaking for myself. I'll try and keep things honest and respectful. I think, again, another disclaimer, what happened in the past is the past. I can't speak for the previous dev team. I can only really speak on where I from when I joined the project moving forward, which is about 3 weeks ago. What has really inspired me to do this video is if you look on CoinMarketCap, just going to jump straight in. If you look on CoinMarketCap, there seems to be some negative posts, which is a bit saddening when you're working hard, but equally they almost seem to have gone. Here we go, LJ. So let's just have a quick look. So I used to make Reddit videos like this. I don't want to spend all my time on this. We're up 1% today. I think we're up about 20% on the month, which is great. Look at this. We're actually doing really well at the moment. So it's small progress. We've got to be looking at the longer term. We are still significantly down on the year. That's where I'm learning that obviously, short term is great, but we've got to be looking at longer term. We need to be up. We need to be getting up here. Let's be realistic. I'm a realist. So at first we need to pull us out of this slight downtrend. We need to start doing things, and we're going up a little bit, which is great. So I joined literally at the lowest point that Jacy has probably ever been since before the days of it being when it was initially Jacy Wire. So what better place to start than the bottom, because you can only go up, although in crypto that isn't necessarily true, I guess. So I joined Jacy 3 weeks ago, and I was very clear to Elisha when he sort of asked me about it. I said, look, I feel that we need to be much more open with communication. I feel that we need to spend more time on other platforms outside of just Telegram. I think Telegram is a bit of a comfort zone, and we need to step outside our comfort zones. To use my example, my personal example, I follow generally all of my Jacy information used to come through Reddit, and I subscribe on Twitter, but I don't necessarily use Twitter all the time. So I was waiting for some information about the NFTs to be posted. This was a while back, and how to get the NFT to start early, what you had to do, etc. And I knew I had to have a certain amount of tokens, which I had. And I was just sort of waiting days and weeks to see any information, and nothing really came up. And then I eventually went to the Telegram to I struggled with Telegram a bit, although I've been using it a lot recently and I think it's good fun. But generally I didn't use Telegram much. There was other groups. It used to be a bit overwhelming for me. I don't necessarily like engaging in one-to-one conversation. I like to read a post, take time to think about what I'm going to say, consume in a slightly different way, or take my information in a slightly different way than just being instant. So, and I think that everybody has their preferred ways of taking information in. So I was waiting on Reddit. No information come up for a few months. So I then went across to I thought, well, I've got to find out what's happening. Is Jacy even happening anymore? Because there are very few posts on Reddit. I went to Reddit. The community is still talking. They're still there. I asked them about the NFTs. And they were like, sorry, mate, you missed it. I was like, what? I've missed it? And because I wasn't a part of the Telegram group, I had missed what I had been waiting 6 months for. And I was disappointed. That was frustrating. And it was because of things like that I said to Elisha straight away, I want to ensure that we spend time to build a much wider, where our media goes out across a much wider social network, so that the people on Reddit will get the same information as the people on Twitter. The people on Twitter are going to get the same information as the people on Telegram. And we also want to expand upon that into Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So that leads me to this part where we look at the community things. Let me just track back. So one of the first things I did when I joined was I came to Twitter and I thought, to Reddit, and I thought, okay, let's have a little look. Let's see what the situation is. And I could see that numbers were down. Not so many people are frequenting the group. We've got 2,000 members. I think this is like, outside of Twitter, this is our second biggest followed channel. And we're not posting here. We need to be posting here. So I sort of came across, I've updated the banner a bit, put a new logo in, and I thought, right, we're going to start communicating here. And one of the first things that I wanted to ask people was, how do you feel? If there's anything you guys would do, what do you suggest? So I posted here, if you're a Jacy holder, what would you like to see happen in the short and medium term? 1.4k views, and we got a lot of feedback, and it was really good. And I just sort of responded to that feedback. I'm a believer that, you know, we should be very respectful to our community and the current holders that we have. And I started to respond to the feedback. Some of the feedback was hard to read. I won't go into it all now, but it's kind of hard when you're working on a project, you've taken on a project, and you see that there is some negativity in the community. And I think the best way of dealing with that is with respect first, and then with transparency. I can only answer what and honesty. I can only answer what I know about. I can't answer for the past team, and I can't answer for other people. I can just answer what I can answer, and I'm going to try and answer as honestly as I can. Somebody mentioned in the, it was Bobby mentioned in the project, in the group Telegram yesterday or the day before, that we are believers that, provided it doesn't put the project at risk, ultimately we want as much transparency as we can possibly give. And I really like that. And that seems to be the general consensus within the core team, that we want to get as much information out to our community so that the community can also understand where we're working towards and feed back their thoughts and put ideas to us. Everything, because we're small at the moment, we see everything. And I was spending time on Reddit, and I thought, okay, let's engage with these people. And the general consensus was that even just engaging with people was enough to generate some interest. However, the reality is that the numbers are much lower than they could be. So I went through Reddit, we were on Twitter, we set up a TikTok page, etc., etc. And then somebody said, oh, have you seen CoinMarketCap? Now, I didn't even think of this area here, but obviously I do remember people post here. So new strategy, good. But then there's LJ. So LJ, first and foremost, respect. I think everybody has a right. I'm a believer in free speech, and you have a right to have your own opinions and voice your own opinions. However, I just read the very first comment. I remember reading that first comment and it hurt me. So how long have we got? 8 minutes. I'm nearly halfway through. Okay, so I'm going to jump straight into it. So this comment said, Jacy, oh brother, now they're spamming poorly made TikTok content. These guys really have no idea how to market this failure of a project. Sad. So I'm not going to go into all of the other stuff. I am just going to say, if you post words like scam, rug, failure, that will be recognized by the algorithm. It really doesn't help the project. I would beg to differ on the fact that we're not a scam, we're not a rug, and I don't think we're a failure either. You're entitled to your opinions, and that's that. I want to just stay on this. Oh, brother, now they're spamming poorly made TikTok content. Right. So one of the first things I said to Elisha was we need to engage with our community. And then we need to get more eyes to the community. We don't have a wealth of marketing budgets. In fact, all of our resources are very limited. What we do have is a lot of passion, commitment, and time. Although even our time is limited. We all have day jobs. We all have families. So there's only so much we can do. But I have a background of working with marketing and creative and creating content for a variety of small, medium and large businesses, including some of the world's largest corporations. I have worked directly with the marketing team from Nike, Nike UK or Nike Europe. I was a preferred supplier there. Who else? Virgin in the United Kingdom, Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Health. What other brands of Virgin? Universal Music Group, various projects with them over the years. Decca Records. I spent like 10 years in the music industry. I found my niche. And if you watch some of my hype drop videos, it sort of I do go into this. I don't want to repeat myself. However, and the last 2, 3, 4 years, I've been very much more towards social media, working with some very prestigious brands in the UK and America. They're branched out into America now and seemingly very successful out there as well. I won't name those clients because they're still my clients. I generally try and respect my client confidentiality. I'm working with a crypto project. It wouldn't reflect good on me and it might not reflect good on their brand. So I won't be naming those companies. I do work around Westminster in London. A lot of events and often that's in the financial sector, the political sector. So I'm constantly sort of within technology events and seminars and Bitcoin seminars and blockchain, how blockchain is going to revolutionize, working with blockchain, understanding blockchain technology, all these sort of things. So I don't necessarily see myself as a crypto investor. I hold crypto. I've been in crypto since about 2013 when I started making Bitcoin videos for a company that I was working for, and they paid me in Bitcoin. So I don't really see myself. My wallets, somebody said, oh, can I transfer some Ethereum? I'm not even sure if I can access half of my wallet. So I just sort of buy. I generally hold fairly long term, but I do still sell. I sold some Jacy. I sold my Saitama. I'm here to make some money, but equally I've always wanted to work in the blockchain, and I'm here to work on a project, ideally much longer term. So that's a bit about my background. The more recent work that I've been doing is sort of high-end social media content. These are adverts that we create ranging from about £6,000 to £100,000 budgets. We shoot them in a day. They go out across all digital media, which is social media, television, etc., etc. Now, this is going to actually go way more than 15 minutes. Things eventually rub off. So if I'm working directly with the head of the creative team for a brand that's worth hundreds of millions, if not into the billions, they're looking to me. And there's been a few times in the last few years where I've sort of sat in meetings and I thought, wow, you've done good. You're the director. And they've called you in because they want you to do this whole campaign. Not just one video, but like 6 videos to be distributed through their whole social media network. You're their guy. And the head of creative is saying, we want to work with him. And the head of marketing has got all the team together to listen to what I'm saying. So it's inevitable that eventually, even though I might be a content creator, it's inevitable that these things rub off on you, that you learn. I made many mistakes. I've worked with many small record labels, bands, artists, and seen £1,500 put into a marketing campaign that you just know is going to fail, and that you know is going to fail, and they end up getting a 3-star review in like one magazine. It's like, that cost you £1,500 and it actually ended up damaging your brand more than helping your brand. So I said to Elisha, we need to engage more with our current holders, and we need to get more eyes onto Jacy. I felt that Jacy itself was too vague. We needed to expand upon the brand. We needed to define the brand a little bit further. And I think it was Electric Ape who said, what about the Jacy project? So that was great. We said, yeah, that was pretty much, yeah, that's exactly what we want. This is a project as opposed to just a crypto token. It was Bobby and Elisha who were talking about humanizing the blockchain. We liked that, and they're creating the vision. And all of this stuff is very marketable. I said, that's much more marketable to me than just Jacy. Jacy was too vague. It's going to be struggle to be found in search engine optimization. Humanizing the blockchain gives us sort of a slogan and something that we can all relate to. It's about putting sort of faces, people to the blockchain. I think the blockchain has spent too long on numbers and cryptography and everything. We need to step outside of that. And equally, the blockchain or cryptocurrency has spent too long being a meme or a GIF or a Shiba Inu kind of dog or character. I think we need to look at getting people involved in the blockchain, in what we do. So I'm not going to go too far into like what our message is, etc., but I do want to address this TikTok side of things. So we don't have marketing budgets to work with. We've got very limited resources, and what we have got, we've all decided, let's just hold on to what we've got and let's start from new. We'll see how we progress. Early days of a new team. So I've been focusing on TikTok at the moment. Now, the reason why I focus on TikTok, it's all linked together. All of the successful multi-million dollar brands and corporations that I work with are gearing their social media content towards TikTok. The reason why is self-explanatory. It's the fourth largest social media platform in the world, and the demographics are very attractive to most brands. I think off the top of my head, I've said this in the VC a few days ago, 55% of the female audience on TikTok are aged 18 to 24, 25. That is a market that we need to be welcoming into crypto, into the crypto sphere, into blockchain technology. That is a market that understands short form media content. That is a market that doesn't necessarily expect a high quality video production. It expects something that's going to be emotional, inspirational, funny, or whatever. So I beg to differ that this is what did it say? Spamming poorly made TikTok content. I disagree. I think I can tell you, I'd like to explain the plan here. So what happens if you look at this? We are in 200 view jail. All of my team would have heard me repeatedly mention this. Basically, the algorithm looks at what you're doing and it won't promote you past 200. About 245 views seems to be the average. It used to be the same on YouTube. You'd get to like 300 views, it stops for a day, and 3,000 views, etc., etc. So this seems to be the way that algorithms work. Now, what you need to do is to continually post. You need to look at what gets results and what doesn't get results. You need to look at the views to likes ratio, etc., etc., etc. I'm not going to go into TikTok into too much detail on the motivation behind what we're creating here. But ultimately, we need to get ourselves out of this 200 view jail. Ultimately, we need to understand the algorithm and work out how we can put a brand like Jacy, which is ultimately a blockchain and crypto brand, into an environment that makes it attractive for TikTok to say, we can market this. Because they're not going to market. They're not going to let advertisers just come and align themselves with a cryptocurrency that could be a rug or a scam or you know, whatever. So we have to find creative ways. And the best way I believe in creating, in learning, is to experiment. You've got to try. So some of the stuff is throwaway content that takes 5 minutes to make. Some of it takes an hour to make. Some of it takes a little bit more time to research. Some of it gets good feedback, but is actually using other people's videos, etc., etc., etc. So the reason we're on TikTok is because we are expanding out across all social networks. We're on TikTok. I'm doing TikTok and Flower is doing TikTok. Separate channels, but we're both on TikTok. We want to get ourselves established there because the big brands are doing it at the moment. And trust me, a year or so down the line, people will be looking back and say, why didn't they get themselves? If we don't do this now, people are going to be questioning in a year why we didn't get on TikTok because some other token's done it and they've had a few viral videos and it's brought a load of new people to their project. So we have to go through this process. It takes 60 days, 90 days, half a year. It could be a year before you actually get out of the 200 view jail. The algorithm needs to see that we post regularly. The algorithm needs to build up confidence so we're not a scam and that we're not a rug pull. The algorithm needs to understand, they're making inspirational content about cryptocurrency. We can advertise that. Or they're making inspirational content about charity. We can advertise that. We can partner them with advertisers. So we have to go through this process. It is a time-consuming process. It doesn't cost us anything outside of our time, but we have to do it. Because if we don't do it now, we're going to be looking back in a year regretting not doing it. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean to say that what we're doing now is going to change the world. It doesn't. TikTok is just a very small part of a much bigger picture. We're also going to be doing the same on Facebook. So with TikTok, we're aiming at around an 18 to 25-year-old audience. 55% male, so 55% female, 45% male. We need those people to be familiarizing themselves with the brand that is the Jacy project. With Facebook, we need to be spending much more time over there. Elisha and Flower are working on that slowly, early days, but we're going to be making much more informed decision kind of content on Facebook, more informative and educational, but maybe not so much fun, maybe more traditional sort of financial education style, information kind of style content. We need to go across to Instagram. Instagram is much more about lifestyle and influencers and motivation and inspirational. So Elisha's there at the moment. I think Flower's there. We're going to start spending more time there. I'm just doing TikTok, and the reason why you're seeing TikTok, it's just unfortunate, really. I would almost prefer that nobody knew that we were doing this, because I also believe that the best way to build a social media platform isn't getting all your friends and your family to it's like cryptocurrency. You can get your friends and family to buy in, but it doesn't really have much of an influence. It can't match when a community finds it. When, any marketer will say that the best marketing is organic growth, where it just happens naturally. So we start posting on TikTok, and hopefully out of 100 videos, one might get a few thousand views. And out of another 100 videos, two might get a few tens of thousands of views. And if you continually do that, eventually you start to build up a following. And the same goes across all social media. So we will be working Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and then Reddit, etc., etc., etc. Now, the reason why I think this is absolutely